What's going on, everyone? This is Nate the Great. I'm coming to you live from the All Sports All Plays Network. I am here today with Ray Cruz and William Morgan. How are the both of you doing?
How you doing, man?
Doing good.
Doing good. Can't complain.
I'm doing well too. I saw Monday Night Raw earlier today. I wasn't able to see much of Fastlane, but
Bro, be glad you did.
I do know enough. I do know enough to figure out, like, see who won the matches and stuff like that. But let's go right ahead, since Monday Night Raw was the latest one. Let's talk a little bit about that. You know, what you liked, what you didn't like.
First of all, I'm glad you asked that question. First of all, I was in Thunderdome. And the thing that pisses me off with WWE, if you get into Thunderdome, you're not guaranteed to stay for the whole show. So I get in there. My call time is 9:45. I figure I get maybe 2, maybe 3 matches. Then I'm out of there. I was decent with that. Man, look, I get in there in the middle of the Charlotte and Asuka match, and Rhea Ripley's on the outside, and it's like I got the chance to see Asuka win. Yes. But Charlotte looked good. She still looks strong.
Mm-hmm.
Rhea Ripley was out there. I can't wait for those two ladies to go at each other. I cannot wait for it. But here's the thing that gets me. They show, doggone it, they showed the Mrs. Tag Team partner come down for a quick little interview, quick little promo, John Morrison. And after that, it cuts on me. And I can't get back in. Bro. Wow. I was pissed. I got my popcorn. I got stuff to eat. I'm cheering. I'm going crazy. And it's like I can't get back in. Bro, I was pissed. And then they got the nerve today to send me another email to go on SmackDown. I tried to sign up on SmackDown. Nope, all booked.
Wow. You don't have to pay for that, did you?
No. You don't pay for anything. It's just the fact that you have to wait until your call time. Once you get your call time, you go in there. You verify your microphone and stuff like that, and then you have a producer in your headset telling you to cheer and what's coming up next.
Oh.
And it's like I get in there and my screen, after the John Morrison thing, and you saw old boy get announced. Putting up his little promo in the ring.
Yeah.
It cuts off to like a red and blue screen, and then bam, it died on me. Thank you for coming from WWE. Please register for the next event.
Yeah. I see them. They change periodically.
Yeah, because the seating changes in and out. So, but at least
I get the seating changing in and out, but it's like saying, hey, you can't be at a baseball game for more than one inning.
Right. Give a brother at least 2 or 3 matches. Come on now.
I get the whole, hey, maybe you might be like at one part of the Thunderdome, then you have to move to another. I get that, depending, but only being there for not I guess you could say maybe one match. Yeah, I don't like that.
Basically, the experience on your end, you don't see yourself on TV unless you just that much of an eagle eye. You don't see yourself on TV, and B, on your side, it's like you just watching regular Raw.
Yeah,
it's like you're just watching regular Raw. If you could get more time of it than I did, I would suggest it, but they did me wrong, man. They did me wrong.
That's why I actually don't sign up for things, because I sit there and time them during Monday Night Raw when they change them, and every time they come back from a break, it's a different person. So I mean, if you get in that call time where they're gonna go to a break, when they come back, you're not gonna be back on that set.
You're gonna be gone. Gonna be gone.
Yep.
Pissing me off, man. But it's all good. At least I got to see Oscar win. And correct me if I'm wrong. Has Charlotte looked like she's gotten work done?
Yeah.
Because I noticed her mole that she had is gone.
She had work done.
Yeah, she had to have work done.
Yeah.
She had to.
She's it looks like her costume is more like a Queen of Hearts.
Yeah, like Cruella or something like that.
Yeah, Cruella LaVille out of Dalmatians.
Yep. But she's playing a role really well. And that was someone who I wasn't a fan of before with Charlotte Flair, because when she started in NXT, she was doing the regular girl stuff, flippy, cartwheels and things of that nature. But yeah, she's where she needs to be, in my opinion, right now.
Well, Charlotte Flair is a gymnast. She was a gymnast at University of North Carolina State University.
Okay.
So she has gymnastics in the background. That's why she does a lot of flips and stuff like that. So, I mean, she was I think she was like in the final four of one of their meets or something at North Carolina State. So
I'm a fan of old Texas style, strong style wrestling. Go back to the day with Barbie Hayden. Go back to the day with Athena before she became Ember Moon. They didn't have no problem with slapping you in the face, and that's the type of wrestling I've always liked on both sides of the house, men and women. And now she's starting to show some of those traits. I'm very happy with Charlotte. Very happy with her.
Yeah, I'm back in the day where world class championship wrestling with Von Erichs and gentleman Chris Adams and the Freebirds and
that super kick, boy.
And then the NWA with Nikita Koloff and the Rock and Roll Express and Ivan Koloff and Dusty Rhodes, Magnum TA, Tully Blanchard.
Same generation as me. Yep.
Paul Jones, the Warlord, the Barbarian. Yep. The Raging Bull, Manny Fernandez.
Yep.
The Boogie Woogie Man, Jimmy Valiant.
Heck yeah.
And I got to see Barry Windham's dad, Jack Mulligan.
Jack Mulligan, yeah.
Yep, I got to see him, and all the old style wrestling. Then then you had the AWA,
Vern Gagne,
and then the Road Warriors started out there, and then they went to NWA and got hooked up with Dusty Rhodes, and that's when they took off. And then you had Nick Bockwinkel, Jerry King Lauder was part of that at one time, and then you had the Rock and Roll, the Midnight Rockers, Marty Jannetty and Shawn Michaels, where he got his big start from, and that's and then carried over in there. So.
I did about that the Midnight Rockers. I did a little bit of research since that was actually before when I was born. I should say. I started watching wrestling. I would say more around 2008, 2009. I guess I don't know what it is about this tag team, but the most memorable moment for me was the MVP, and I'm blanking on his name. Matt Hardy, MVP Matt Hardy tag team. I don't know what it is, but during my first stint watching wrestling, that was my favorite, two favorite wrestlers to watch.
Well, let me tell you something about the Hardy Boys. Hardy Boys got started in wrestling. Mick Foley got started the same way, backyard wrestling. That's what they got started from. Mm-hmm. Mick Foley was the hardcore legend for a reason, because that dude jumped from a second story floor all the way onto a mattress onto somebody with a thin mattress. That's what Mick Foley came from. The Hardy Boys, they had an organization. They started an actual backyard wrestling organization in the neighborhood in Cameron, North Carolina, and they had old ring, trampoline type deal set up in their backyard. And they invited all the neighborhood people, and if you had a bully and you want to bring the bully out there, they'd allow that, and then they take over. And that's where they actually started from. So Matt and Jeff Hardy, man, they'll always be my favorite, because I'm a North Carolina boy, so I got to support my North Carolina people.
Yeah, I was about to say that's your backyard.
Yeah. So and then on top of that, North Carolina wrestling is big in Charlotte area. And where I lived at, we started our own backyard wrestling. And me and my cousin was same, skinnier, but athletic like Hawk was. We were the Road Warriors. I was Animal. He was, and we actually took dudes. We actually took dudes and put the Doomsday's device on. He climbed
Oh
up on the tree.
wow!
He climbed up on the tree. I picked the dude up on my shoulder, come right over there, and he jumps off and hits them. And we did it with no mats. We did it straight to the ground.
Me and my cousin back in the day, we used to think we were the British Bulldogs back in the day, and we came up with the little cardboard championship belts.
Yeah,
and we nicknamed my dog Matilda and everything, and we used to go down like we were the British Bulldogs. Still was Dynamite, I was Davy Boy, and like we were just crushing people, man, people. Back in the day, man. And all those names you came up with, they don't do them like that no more, man.
Nope.
Yeah. My dad and I on Fridays, when I'm watching Friday Night SmackDown, we would often watch each match as they go on. But when it hits commercial break, Dad and I would often be the two people wrestling on the couch, and then we'd go back to the show and then go back to the commercial.
Oh yeah. Man, I just love wrestling back. It's like, don't get me wrong, the product is still good now, but back in the day, back then it was really, really special.
Yeah, see, back then in the day, you could do your storylines, but you also had that wrestling. This time you do storylines, and you really don't have that great chemistry with the two people. But back then, the chemistry with that storyline, they put the people in the right spot.
Oh yeah,
and to what made it back then the day was the Four Horsemen, Dusty Rhodes made it personal and they made it real, but they were friends at the end.
Right.
They always hung around with each other, but they could turn it on, make it really personal. And like I said, that taping, I don't know if you remember back in the day when they tied Dusty Rhodes to a truck and carried him across the parking lot.
I do.
But that parking lot was in Raleigh, North Carolina, Dorton Arena at the State Fairgrounds. And they had about 25 police in that area because somebody reported them and somebody was dragging somebody across the parking lot. Well, and that's why they had the cops sit up there. So, everything was done. Dusty Rhodes, and if you look at it, Dusty Rhodes didn't have no kind of no protection on him. He actually did it. He came out, his back was raw, really bloody, and that's why he was out for a few weeks trying to get all healed up. So, but they actually did their own little thing, and they actually didn't have any paddings or anything like that. And it was chair shots. And if you ever watch wrestling, when they pick up a chair, sometimes they make a mistake and they turn the chair where you can see a white piece of paper on it. When they're on the floor, they're looking up at the chair to see what chair is the fake chair, so they can hit people with to make it sound like it's a real thing. So that's what a little bit about wrestling does. You gotta watch it a little bit, because if they go through the table is cut in too already. So it'll break the fall and stuff like that. So, I mean, they do get hurt in the ring, but some of the stuff they have to do is coordinated. But like I said, we did all that stuff. We had the pans, hitting people with the pans. We had chairs. I mean, we had a baseball bat. We would just clean the house and stuff like that. So.
Ow!
He had a little slugger ready to go.
And then I'm gonna get a little elaborate here. The figure four leg lock. If you watch Ric Flair put the figure four leg lock, watch his placement of it when he puts that leg across his knee. He doesn't put it above the knee. If you put it above the knee, you're gonna hurt somebody. He's always got it on the knee or below the knee. Below the knee, it doesn't hurt. If you move it up above the knee and you put it on somebody, that person's gonna be crying. Because me and my cousin, we always take the moves and see which ones are real, which ones are fake, how to make it real, how do you make it fake. And then we figured the figure four leg lock when I put it on him and started making him cry because I put it above the knee. So, that's how we debug some of the holes and stuff. So, but
cool.
That's what we used to do back in the day.
Can't do that no more, boy. Can't do that no more. Shoot, man.
Oh, wow. So to talk a little bit about some Monday Night Raw. Honestly, I like going back to Fastlane, even though out of what I've read, some of the grades that I've seen, and I'm talking about the Bobby Lashley winning the title triple threat match. I didn't see it, but some of the grades I saw were like A minus, B plus,
You ain't missed
A
nothing.
plus.
You ain't missed nothing. That match, I could tell you soon he walked out, I already knew who was gonna win. You could tell. They had everything set up for him to do this, and they had him set up on to the side a little bit here. You had the two other guys wrestling each other, and then you had Bobby Lashley come back at the end. It was just predictable. I mean, if you look at the pay-per-view, the only really paper match that the titles changed hands, it was the tag team titles for the female.
Yeah.
Really, you had that much title. I already knew that. That's how I could tell the pay-per-view. If you watch the
two shows, the 2 week shows.
If you watch what they call the closeout before the big thing, if you watch it, if they have it where they interfered or if they had something like that, those two guys are not going to win. The champion is going to win.
Yep.
And then if you read some of the if you read some of the spoilers they got on the internet, they had it all set up. But they want to keep the belt on Lashley for a little while. They want to keep the belt on Roman Reigns. So I don't know how long they're going to keep the belt on him. So, and I mean, that Roman Reigns match it was good, but it wasn't to my standards. It wasn't to if you're a real wrestling fan standards. If you're a real wrestling fan, they could tell that it was
nothing really popped on it. It was just there.
I mean, if you look, the name of the show was WrestleMania Backlash.
Well, no backlash.
It wasn't no backlash to it. It just
no backlash.
They shouldn't even put WrestleMania in front of it because you expect when you use the word WrestleMania, what do you expect? A WrestleMania style pay-per-view.
Exactly.
And I don't understand why they put WrestleMania in front of Backlash. Backlash used to be just Backlash.
Yep. I am happy about Tamina though. Yeah. I don't know how long they're going to be champions, but I am happy that Tamina finally got one.
Yep.
Okay. And now I would have to say my favorite part about Backlash was the Sheamus Open Challenge.
Yeah.
With Ricochet. Only because of the ending, because it was kind of funny.
Well, if you watch Ricochet and I'm going to tell you what, WWE's used Ricochet to a low standard. I mean, Ricochet is more talented. He should be used a little bit more. When he first came into WWE and when he came out of if he came out of NXT, he was putting people always, and stuff like that. But he's got good movesets. He is so good at certain things, but WWE is not using him because he's not to that big build. He's not to that big size. If you watch WWE is catering to like a Bobby Lashley, like to Strowman, like to McIntyre. They like the huge guy, but the small guys are what makes it fun because they can move around and they can do move sets. And if you watch Ricochet can do some stuff that I didn't even think they could do. And by using his name Ricochet, he looks like a gun going off and hitting all these different moves on different things. And so I think they should put a championship on the guy. I think they're using him all the way wrong. I think it's time for him to either win the U.S. title and let Sheamus put him over and then have him run a little bit because he's the same style as Kofi Kingston and a good athlete. And sometimes your world champion don't have to be big guys.
No.
Like Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy had a good run as a WWE
Daniel Bryan
world title.
Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, and then Rey Mysterio had a good run.
Yep.
And then Eddie Guerrero. I love when they put Eddie Guerrero and they actually use his Latin roots to steal stuff.
Yep.
That was perfect.
Yeah.
That was just perfect.
Eddie was the man, boy. He was the man. Could cut a promo like no other. He was amazing.
I remember when Eddie Guerrero used to be one of those wrestlers that come in and get beat up all the time.
Yeah.
And then he wasn't built, and then they started building him. So
wasn't it like 2000 and the Royal Rumble in 2006 where Eddie Guerrero came in and he basically let Vince McMahon ride in his car.
Yeah.
Oh
And it
yeah,
was that
yeah,
bumpy
yeah.
ride? Wasn't it for Rumble 2006? Yeah.
It was somewhere
How
along
long?
there.
Either 06 or 07.
It was the convertible, the green
Yep, the green
metallic
convertible.
convertible. And when
Yep.
Vince got in there,
Yeah,
he put that hydraulics on. Vince looked like he was like, "What the world?"
What in the world is going on here?
I saw part of
What is going
2006. I haven't
on?
seen all 2007 yet, but I think I wish, going back to your point about Ricochet, would you like to see a Ricochet match against Damian Priest?
I'm not
Not
a
right-
fan of. I'm not a
not
fan
right
of
now.
Damian. I'm not a fan of Damian Priest.
Well, to
Really?
me, I like.
I'm not a fan of Damian Priest.
Damian Priest. I like the way they built that storyline with him and Bad Bunny, and Damian Priest's career was on the line during that match. Y'all didn't realize that Damian Priest backed Bad Bunny and told Vince McMahon if Bad Bunny could not pull off his win and hold his end of the wrestling, that he was going to walk away.
Wow, I didn't know that.
He put his whole
Wow.
career. He put his whole career on line because Vince didn't want Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny was there just to promote his CDs and stuff like that. But Damian Priest wanted him to be involved in the Miz stuff to get him over.
Right.
So Vince said, "All right, if you're gonna do that, you're gonna have to give me something back." So he told me I'll put my career on that I can make Bad Bunny the way he is and produce that match. So that WrestleMania match, nobody knew that Damian Priest had everything on his shoulder because his whole career was wrapped up on that move that Bad Bunny put on. Because that's the move. That's the move that they were working on.
Wow.
And Vince said he could not pull that off.
Amazing.
Then you got to go. So he put his money where his mouth is. So that's what I like about Damian Priest. He puts his money where his mouth is, and his ring presence is okay. I don't like
So.
I don't like his entrance is pretty cool, but they can do away with some of all these arrow things. You can do away with some of these arrow pointing things and the thing up over the head and stuff like that. So.
Yeah. I became a huge fan of Damian Priest as soon as he entered into the WWE. Now, let's talk a little bit. We talked a little bit about this earlier. Damian Priest during Backlash with that match against The Miz, I hated it. With the zombie thing, I hated that.
It set wrestling back 30 years. 30 years.
Well,
I get why they did it, but
Yeah.
it was just
I get this is what I like when they do something like they introduce a movie and they use the word WrestleMania. You think something's gonna happen. You think something, but then the movie is about zombies. So we knew they're gonna have some kind of zombie things in there. And then especially with Morrison with his little drip thing, I don't like that little drip. I don't like that. To me, to me it makes him a little gay. I'm sorry, he's just making.
Why are you gay? Why are you gay?
I understand what they're doing. I understand they're trying to get him away from the Miz.
Right.
It's time for them to go bye-bye. I mean, he's been back long enough, and now it's time for him to go back on his own and try to win titles on his own and stuff like that. Morrison's good by himself, but he's okay with the Miz. I really don't like that. They got a good their clash of their chemistry is good. I like the chemistry with them, but it's time for if Maurice is trying to come back as being his manager and stuff, they can't have Morrison around. That's three.
Most dudes will tell you, do you want Maurice or do you want Morrison? Give me Maurice any day. Any day.
Like, I'm confused. How in the world is The Miz supposed to come back from it? Is he supposed to be like coming back as a zombie and then him being friends with Alexa Bliss or something. But
look, this is not Call of Duty, doggone it.
No, I think with the zombie part of them eating them or whatever they're trying to do to them, I think it's trying to dissolve between him and Morrison. They're good friends they're good friends. So they don't want to hurt their friendship by, crashing and stuff that tarnish outside of the wrestling. So they use the zombie part, and I believe that they're going to use that part to split them apart. Instead of, and I don't know if they want to do I don't know if they want to do a storyline together, a feud against each other and stuff like that. I think the Miz needs to go on and do what he needs to do. I think the Miz needs to go back to doing the Intercontinental, trying to get the Intercontinental Championship. That's just my opinion. I won't be mad about that.
I won't be mad about that.
He's a good Intercontinental, and then you work your way back up. I like the quickness of when they put the championship on him, then lose the next night. I like that part because the Miz championship run was stale. He was a little stale at the beginning, and then the interest, and then got a little stale back. So, to me, I think they're trying to get it set up where I don't exactly what they want to do with the Miz right now. The A listeners is starting to play out because I'm tired of him and his little A listener type deal. So I mean, the Miz's storyline is getting kind of stale. So they gotta find something to spice it back up with.
Yeah, and Maurice is the perfect person to do that. Perfect person to do that with.
Let's talk a little bit about the Open Challenge. There's a lot of people that went out and said that they're interested in accepting it. A lot of people. You had Damian Priest, which we talked about earlier. You had Sheamus, which we talked about. Him possibly having the chance of having 2 belts. And then you had I don't remember who said that the tag team. Oh gosh, I just saw it this morning. The two tag team that they just came back and they had this whole little feud with Drew McIntyre.
Tag team.
It was a 2 tag team. They said something about it.
Not the Usos, is it?
No. It was they had a small little feud with Drew McIntyre. There was a tag team match between Drew McIntyre.
You talking about a Good Day?
New Day.
The New Day?
The New Day?
No, not the New Day. They just came back. They had a match not too long ago against Braun Strowman and Drew McIntyre.
You talking about the Viking Raiders?
Viking Raiders, yes. Somebody from the Viking Raiders said that they wanted to do that, but who? There was this whole coin flip, and who? That coin flip. Well, let's just say that was stupid.
I don't like stuff like that. It's cheesy.
To me, wrestling. If you look at wrestling, and if you look at how the wrestling is brought, we go back. We reference the '80s. We reference the '90s. The Attitude Era for WWE. Those really good shows. We're in this little peak and valleys. Wrestling goes into little peaks and valleys. You have certain years it gets stale, and then they pick it back up. Something comes along, it makes it very interesting. See, if you look at AEW storylines are great. I like the AEW storylines. They remind me of the old WCW type wrestling. Getting into wrestling, more of a feud. I like that. But now AEW is using more fashion.
Right.
They got more fashions.
Mm-hmm.
So you got more stables, and that reminds me back in the early NWAs and WCW beginning, because you had the Four Horsemen, you had Dusty Rhodes, his team, you had the Road Warriors,
Midnight Express,
you had all these fashions.
Yep.
See, and then you had all the tag teams and single wrestlers working together and doing a storyline. You can have a tag team champion, then you can have a single wrestler as a champion, and with the Four Horsemen. Well, now they're trying to do that over in AWA. Now over here in WWE, we're encountering the spirits of triple threat matches. I'm getting tired of these triple threat matches.
Don't serve a purpose.
Because to me, when you do a triple threat match, that means one of those wrestlers cannot go a full 60-minute match, a full match where they were trying to procure. They got to have somebody else carry the match for them, or they got to have breaks. And the only way they can get breaks is if you add another person into it. So the conditioning that's still, but I'm getting tired of these triple threat match for the world championship.
So,
How many times have you seen a triple threat match for a world championship back in the day of Ric Flair? Hardly any.
Yep.
so I have an idea. I have an idea to change a little bit about the idea for the triple threat matches. Instead of, hey, let's have one person, person A pin person B, that way person C gets eliminated as well. How about person A pin person B and C?
You saw that already.
Yeah.
You saw that already.
Now, if you want to put a third person into it, you can change it up, and you can change it up where you have two men start off till that man gets eliminated, then you bring the third man in.
See, I like that better.
That works more because you still getting a one-on-one match, and you're still getting like a triple threat match type because you got to go against a third person.
Right?
It's called a gauntlet match, basically.
Yep.
I like that better than having three guys in the ring, because sometimes the three guys in the ring, you got to knock one guy out and have him stay outside for a few minutes to get a rest. Then he comes in, then you got to go. Then they get involved, so you got to change your whole thing.
Yeah.
And that's not a way you want to win a world championship. You want a world championship where you actually pin the champion and don't have nobody else helping you pin that champion.
It makes you more legit too.
Yeah.
It makes you a lot more legit that you pin the champion yourself. I hate triple threat matches too because they're dumb, they're stupid, and they're overused. They're overused.
They are. Yes, they are. But I do have a question. Though. You saying we saw that already with what happened with Edge, Daniel Bryan, and Roman Reigns?
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm talking. Hey, person A pins person B. Person B is eliminated from that match.
Okay. I got you.
Now one triple threat match I really liked was Edge, John Cena, and the Big Show.
That was good.
When John Cena put Big Show and Edge up at the
same time.
Yep,
that was good. That was good.
One thing I'm not looking forward to, and they announced this on Raw. They're having a fatal four-way on Raw. I mean,
I'm starting to hate those too. Fatal.
It was supposed to be Kevin Owens, Big E, Sami Zayn, and Apollo Crews.
Isn't it cute? That's just a match to say, hey, we can't think of nothing else to do with who we got on the roster, so we're gonna give you this to set you up. I don't like stuff like that, man.
See, I don't like Apollo Crews' new character because the way he started out, he had no accent. Now he's got an accent.
Just like Kofi. You notice they did that with Kofi too. Yeah.
Well, Kofi is from Kingston.
He is from Kingston though.
Yeah. But Apollo Crews is not Nigerian.
Nope.
He act like, and then he put one goon with him. Then he got another goon with him. That guy from when he was on that underground thing. Now they put him with him.
Yep.
I mean, he's. It's just, to me, his character. They should have left him alone. His character was good without all this stuff. Now they adding all this stuff to him, trying to make him bigger than Big E. When Big E, they told Big E he was going to have a big run, but his big run didn't really last too long. I mean, he had the Intercontinental Champion with Bauer about a month and a half.
Mm-hmm.
And then they took it off of him.
Sometimes you can add too much to a guy. And when you add that too much, you turn them off from fans, and that's exactly the case there.
And they're Big E's could be more big because he's more athletic as a big guy. He's got the power. He can match up with some of the big guys, and then taking him away from the New Day. When the New Day when not with him, it makes the New Day not really the New Day.
Yeah. They're better as a threesome than a twosome.
Let's talk about what led up into WrestleMania Backlash. Let's talk a little bit about Friday Night SmackDown. Honestly, my favorite match of that night has to be the Nia Jax versus Tamina. I mean, Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler versus Tamina, Oh gosh, I'm blanking on names today.
Natalia.
Yeah, Natalia. That the only thing I didn't like about that is why, like, what's the point about moving? Yeah, what's the point about moving characters from SmackDown to Raw? Because we saw a repeat. We saw another Tamia and Natalia that we saw that same tag team match on Monday Night Raw that we saw on Friday Night SmackDown. So, like, what's the point about this whole Friday Night SmackDown Monday Night Raw thing?
Well,
If
I mean, I can answer that real quick. The women's tag team champion has to go from both shows. That's the difference because they only have one female tag team champion.
Right. They no longer
They don't
have
have-
just the Raw
You're
tag
right.
team or the SmackDown. It's all unified.
Yeah. So they have to go. So now when they won the title at Backlash, now they have the rights to go to Raw and they can switch shows. That's why you see, and Natalya and Shayna Baszler are officially on Raw. So when they lost the title, they can't go to SmackDown now. They had to do the rematch on Raw. So the tag team champions had to come to Raw to defend the title.
Right.
So that's where you have to watch out. You know, the storyline between you got to watch what they got. So when Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax lost the title, that means Tamia and Natalya can go from SmackDown to Raw because they got to defend the title on both shows.
now, do you think Alexa Bliss is going to have be a tag team with her doll?
Here we go. I'm gonna give you a quick example. This is what I saw today.
I want to go on this too. Go ahead.
I did a research today on this thing. They were gonna use the doll, and then what they were gonna use, the same guy who made the Fiend's mask was gonna make the Lydia Doll's mask, but not put it on Alexa Bliss. It was gonna put it on Nikki Cross. That's one report. Another report is you have not seen Sasha Banks anytime since she lost the title, have you?
Nope, you haven't.
Oh,
Guess what? Sasha Banks, you know the attire she was wearing at Backlash? Well, they're going to team there. One report is going to team her with Alexa Bliss. And the doll is going to have a single match storyline too on the side.
Look. Here's the thing with that. Here's the thing. You've seen a baby win a wrestling match over in TNA. So if you've seen a baby win a wrestling match, a doll can do it too.
Yep.
I mean, we saw a 10-year-old win a tag team match with Braun Strowman.
Yep.
So it's not going to be surprising.
Well, for that, now you brought that up. This is an interesting tidbit on this. The kid that Braun Strowman used is the kid of the former WWE referee, Mr. His last name was White. That's his actual kid. So
Wow.
they didn't go actually pull out a 10-year-old. They didn't know how to wrestle and stuff. This kid was actually with his dad all the time, so he knew what he was doing. He knew what he was doing. So that's why they went and picked him, because his dad was a WWE employee at one time.
Wow. I did not know that. I didn't know it either.
See, when I look at wrestling, I'll tell you a secret how I do this. I watch wrestling. Now, when I first found out it was fake, if you take an old VCR tape, put a match in, and hit the slow-mo, you can watch how the move becomes fake. How the wrestlers go and now when I'm gonna give you a little quick secret here. A body slam, when he slam him, what hits first?
Feet.
Why?
Feet, then back. Yeah.
Why?
Feet, then back, and then
when your feet hits, it absorbs the shocks in your back. Just think about a shock on a car. Your legs are your shocks. That just like what happens on a car. Your legs are your shocks. So if you fall on your legs first, your brace of your fall on your back and stuff is not going to hurt as bad as. So if you watch it when you do a suplex, what hit first on the suplex? That other guy's legs.
Yeah, same thing. Yeah.
The guy who's suplexing his legs already down. The guy who's getting suplexed legs down. Now, Stone Cold. Remember when Stone Cold got hurt?
Yep.
Guess why? Why he get hurt? Owen Hart put his head too far between his thighs. Your head, but when you do a power,
he came down on the crown.
Right. When you do a power driver, the other guy's head cannot be shown on the backside. You should not be able to see the head. If you go back and look at the tape, watch Stone Cold's head, you can see him on the backside because he went to the backside camera. Every time they do a power, every time they do a pile driver, it was always on the reverse side. So now, reason for that is so the truck knows that the head is not shown and they can do the move safely. So, but with Stone Cold, they turned it to the backside. You can see Stone Cold's head, and when he came down, that's why all his neck and vertebrae was injured. So you got to watch them the key points of how wrestlers do and how they get hurt and stuff like that. But now take you this Alexa Bliss stuff here. I like her character. I like the way they're doing it. It makes it more interesting when they bring her on, because that's the only thing I watch Raw for is Alexa Bliss, because she's unique. And you don't know what she's gonna do. You don't know what she's gonna do the next night, because it's not always a different. Because when she first came out, they want to know who she was gonna go against. What did you see? Sonya Deville. Now they changed it up when that tag team on Raw before they went to Backlash WrestleMania. Shayna Baszler, she started having complications. Now you don't know who she really attacking. You don't know who she's really going after. So that makes it unique. That makes it interesting. And for Raw, for my purpose, after Alexa Bliss, I can tell you pretty much how Raw is going to go after Alexa Bliss's segment.
I didn't like Alexa Bliss at first, but once she took on this role with Bray Wyatt and now on her own with her doll, I love what she's doing, man. It's edgy. It's cool to see. I really like what she's doing. I couldn't stand what she was doing before because you've seen it too many times before she did it. Bad, cocky schoolgirl type of stuff. But now she's doing some really edgy stuff, and she's really invested in the character, and I really like to see that from her. I love it. I love what she's doing.
Now you can tell a good wrestler too if they can change their characters. Like way John Cena went from the attitude, whatever they was doing, the Mr. Attitude guy, that didn't really work. Then he went to the Thugonomics. The Thugonomics worked. That's why he got him over. Yeah. And then he brought back. Then he went back to a regular John Cena with cut off blue jeans and stuff like that. John Cena could change his character. Stone Cold went through character changes. Stone Cold got hit up when he became Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Same thing with The Rock when he turned heel.
Right. So characters can, if you see a wrestler who's going to be a good wrestler, they can change characters. Some wrestlers can carry that character all the way through and change when errors come, like Ric Flair. Ric Flair had not came out of his character. The only thing that changed on Ric Flair was when he cut his hair and went straight from the long hair back to the short hair. And he could pull it off because he was Ric Flair, because he had the flashy robes and stuff like that.
Yep.
So if you really want to know who's going to be a good wrestler, if they change their characters and you don't notice they're changing their character, like Bray Wyatt, he can change his character. He can do the Fiend. He went to a, Mr. Rogers type character, and then all of a sudden, boom, the Fiend, And Undertaker, he was that one other character that when he came in WWE, I knew the Undertaker when he was Mark Callis of the Skyscrapers.
Yep. WCW. Yep.
So when he came over to being the Undertaker, he changed his characters through shows because he had to go to different organizations. And when he put it, and then when they put the Paul Bearer with him, because the thing with Paul Bearer is he was a mortician. He's a real mortician.
Yeah, real life mortician.
So that when he built the characters with him and Kane, putting Paul Bearer with him was great because he knows the funeral home scenes. So that's how the Undertakers and all those come. With Alexa Bliss, she was in NXT, she was a fairy tale. She made her theme off a princess because she liked the Disney princess. Basically, I watched some couple of interviews where she said that her character in NXT was based off the fairy tale princess. She comes to SmackDown when she first joined the WWE. They changed her over to a bad girl, a bad type, mean type, school looking girl. Yep. Because she had the look. She had the young look, the ponytails. She could pull it off. But now she transitioned over to a psycho character, and now she's pulling this off.
I love that Psycho character.
You know,
love it.
Yeah, I
love
do too.
it. Oh,
Awesome.
before she did this, she had to go prepare her mom and dad to tell her this is what is going to happen. I'm not going to be this outside this thing, but inside here, I have to be this. So she had to get her mom and dad prepared for it because her mom and dad always valued the Christianity view, and that's what she wanted to be portrayed, and that's what she is. She didn't want to be bad because she always helped young girls and stuff like that. She has a girl foundation that she does. So they had to prepare everybody in this thing before she started rolling this character out. So when Alexa Bliss did this character, and I like now adding the Lily doll, it just makes her psycho. It just makes her character good. And now it makes you want to come back and see what she's going to do next.
So I liked what they did with Alexa Bliss and the Fiend, the Randy Orton storyline, and I like what they're doing now with Alexa Bliss. I just didn't like the transition.
At least you did get it finished with that Randy Orton, though. At least they didn't just let it linger. At least you did get a finish from it.
True.
And now the tidbit for that is Bray Wyatt is suffering from the guy from that passed away that was part of the Wyatt family. When he passed away, he set off because they were really, really close friends.
Yeah.
So
I heard that
when the first break, when he was gone for a while, it was because of that. Then he brought him back, and then he couldn't focus, so that's why Randy Orton set him on fire to get him away a little while longer to mourn again and stuff like that. But now he came back, and now that's why you see the Alexa Bliss split off from Bray Wyatt because he wants to take more time off, from WWE. So we don't know exactly when he's coming back. He said he's coming back. He said the Fiend's going to be bigger than ever. And the couple things for Bray Wyatt that they're saying is when he comes back, he's going to attack Drew McIntyre to make the Fiend bigger.
Ooh.
So
I love him as the Fiend. I love him in that role. He was very, very good. I know you can't bring back the Wyatt family, but man, I thought that's when he was at his best.
Well, since the Undertaker passed, since the Undertaker left, they try to make a character similar to the Undertaker, the dark side, to keep the dark side going with the WWE. But I think right now, that Tash has been torqued over to Alexa Bliss for that part. Yeah. And she's running with it.
She's killing it, man.
Yeah, she is.
She's killing it.
Now I wanted to move away from this topic and ask one question. Do you think it would be better if they just simply took Drew McIntyre out of the triple threat match and moved him towards him answering Sheamus's challenge?
Well, you got Drew McIntyre in the World Championship picture. Now you want to take him and move him back to a
mid-card.
To a mid-card championship.
I can't see it.
No, see, they're trying to keep Drew relevant because eventually Drew McIntyre is going to get the title back, and then probably you're going to see the Fiend come in and attack him and stuff like that. So, to me, they're going to keep the belt on Bobby Lashley for a little bit longer, let him do a little bit run because we don't know how long Bobby Lashley is going to be because he's still going back between WWE and the one of the mixed martial arts. I think it was the Bella Wars or something.
It was Bellator. Yeah,
Bellator or something like that. So he's going back and forth between that. And some people are saying that he wants to go back and finish out his MMA career, and then come back. So that's why they're doing these title runs with these guys.
I think.
Go ahead.
Okay. I think too. You gotta remember, he's Vince's guy. Even though he's been once removed, he's still Vince's guy. So I don't think he'll ever be back on the mid-card scene. He's always going to be living around title contention. Always going to be around title contention.
And you can tell who Vince's guys are and who Vince's guys are in the doghouse. Like Braun Strowman, he's been in the doghouse for a while. So what they did with him, they just threw him away.
Heck
and then they put him in a thing with Shane McMahon calling him stupid. You know, the
I
guy. I don't like that. I didn't like that storyline with him and Shane. I didn't like it at all. I think Braun Strowman should be a world champion. I think Braun
the
Strowman should have
only
a strong run. So
only thing I liked about that storyline is when they did the steel cage match and Braun Strowman ripped that
Yeah,
out.
yeah,
That was awesome.
that was cool.
That
I'll
was
give him
yeah,
that.
that was
I'll
only
give him that.
match.
I'll give him that. I'll
Storyline.
give him that. But see, my only thing with WWE, and Ray, you brought it up earlier, how Vince just loves these big muscular guys and have an underappreciation. So the smaller man, and like people forget the smaller man, in a lot of cases have been more entertaining than the bigger guys. And I just hate. I get Bobby. I got you on that. I got you on Drew. But outside of those two guys, you can throw Broad in there if you want to. Outside of those three guys, I just don't see what the big man in today's game really brings you. Big, strong, can throw you out the ring. That's fine. But where's the excitement with today's big man? There's only so few that can move really well in the ring. And there are some that can do it, but there's only so few that can move well in the ring and be really entertaining, not just give a throw somebody up a power bomb here and there and then beat the chest and go, the smaller guy can be, in a lot of cases, the more entertaining guy. And I just hate the fact that Vince gets away from that.
well, another thing with the smaller guys and the big guys, I like them going up against each other because the big guy can throw the smaller guy, and then the smaller guy can do other kind of moves to land back on his feet and stuff like that. So you got the build of that, but Vince needs to go. To me, I think Vince is back in the old type of WWE.
He is.
Back in the WWF time with Big John Studd and Andre the Giant and stuff. They're trying to bring that back in, and it's not working today because you don't have. Because Andre the Giant was a different beast. He was a different animal.
Yep.
I mean, he knew how to act. He knew what he was doing. He knew exactly what he was doing in the ring. Big John Studd was another guy who can move around and put dominance, and you can believe it. Some of the big guys today, you don't believe. Like Braun Strowman, I can believe because he was in that strongman competition, moving transfer trucks and flipping over things. I could believe that. Mark Henry, I could believe, but certain like Drew McIntyre, he's more of a skill set type big man. He cannot do what something like Andre the Giant. He can't be that big superstar, but I like his movement. I like his skills because he's very agile in the ring. So, you can have some of these big guys who can do this. But what Vince is doing is he's making a big man dominance, little man out of character. These little guys are going to go over to like AEW and show, hey, we really can perform.
Get over.
You like MJF. He actually started he started in NXT. Vince didn't like the way he was doing it, so they threw him to the side. Now what has he done? Yep. He has come out on being on a AEW stage, and he's now turned out to be one of the top guys in AEW. So, Vince misses out on some of these small guys, and you wonder how AEW is getting these storylines over because they have the characters to do it.
Yep.
Vince McMahon needs to step aside and let whoever they're going to run the company when he decides to let go, run the company now while he's still up, because Vince could give you good insights of what you need to do with direction and marketing and stuff like that, and with some of the still. But he needs to let it go where he needs to sit back out of the gorilla position and have Triple H run the show, or have Stephanie run the show, and then you can give them guys how you do it, but then let them run the show like they want to do it, because it's going to change when Vince McMahon either passes away. The show is going to have to change to match what you want to see and make it realistic, because now you're getting into the age area where you need to make something believable in a ring.
I agree.
Now I wanted to address one more thing. We still have 6 more minutes left. I do want to address one more thing. Going towards WrestleMania Backlash. I found out earlier today that during that match, The Miz tore his ACL.
I heard that, but I couldn't confirm it.
It hasn't been confirmed yet.
Yeah, I couldn't confirm it, but I heard that too.
Yeah, I heard, but
If
some
that
people.
happens, what do they do with Johnny Morrison's storyline?
Well, Morris can handle himself because Morris has been a champion before, and he's been a champion in ROH, Ring of Honor. He's been a champion in WWE. I mean, the guy's if you see some of the skill sets this guy does, have you
Which
seen his
one?
workout? Have you seen his workout?
I
John
mean, yeah,
Morrison's workout.
yep, I've seen his workout. It's pretty much a parkour type workout. He also did some work down in, I believe, Lucha Underground, not too long ago, a couple years ago as well. So he's more than capable of handling himself. More than capable of it.
Did you see some of the moves he made in Backlash last night,
Yeah.
Sunday night, when he's jumping off on these different things and stuff like that? This guy can do all kinds of stuff. He can actually look like he's walking on a wall or something. The way he moves around, he's like a cat-like thing. But like I said, he's a small build guy. He's not a tall guy. He's not a muscular-looking big Vince McMahon style. He's going to be an undercard. I like to see him and Sheamus go again. That's who I like to see.
That'd be a good pairing.
Because he's got all kinds of different moves and he gets Sheamus off balance. So, if you were looking for a good undercard, John Morrison and Sheamus.
They showed Morrison's workout on a Raw one time as they were going toward a break. They showed some of what his workout was. So yeah, Morrison can more than hold his own. He doesn't need the Miz to get by.
He never needed the Miz. I mean, him and the Miz could handle each other. They just made a good when they became tag team. When they came a tag team, they just chemistry because their demeanor came in and clash, and it just could work.
Yep.
So,
all right. So this is we have about 4 minutes left. Any final thoughts before we get this closed? So we'll go with Ray since we went with William last time. We'll go with Ray this time.
Well, we're looking at what we're seeing here. We like Alexa Bliss. We all agree to that. We all agree that Backlash was a waste of time, a waste of show because the triple threat match is gone. It's gone. It's been overused. The four-way match has been overused. We like to see going back to one-on-one championship matches. I can understand if we were like in the Hell in a Cell match or one of those elimination chamber with the pods and stuff like that. I can handle that, but we don't see those all the times because they don't do it all the time. They do it once a year. So when they do triple threat matches, how many 5 or 6 months in a row, it just gets tiring. And then what three big men are going to do to each other? They're all going to destroy each other. They're all going to get tired, and the match is going to be worthless.
Yep,
that's my take.
Get tired quick too. My take. The only thing I just want to say, I was happy when Natty and Tamina won the tag team championships on the women's side. I'm very, very happy for that. That was Tamina's first. Super psyched because at some point we gonna get Charlotte versus Rhea Ripley. I'm so excited to see that. Both those ladies are in fantastic shape. I think they're gonna be one hell of a match. And WB, just start listening to your fans more. Start utilizing all your talent. Don't just use your big man. Use all of your talent. To your advantage. Morrison's the Miz when he comes back. Use all your talents. Just don't leave it to the big man for the championship matches.
Yeah. As for my final thought, I'm wondering for SmackDown what are they going to do next for Roman Reigns storyline?
Shoot, man.
Because Cesaro gave his try, so who's next?
Jimmy Uso.
It's gotta be.
I
could see that.
It's gotta be.
And I have a feeling. I'm sorry cutting you off.
You good?
I have a feeling that what's going to happen is Jimmy Uso is going to go up against Roman Reigns. His brother is going to jump Roman Reigns. That's how the Usos are going to get back together because they want the Usos to run to get the SmackDown Tag Team Champions. They can't. I mean, Jimmy can't do it by himself, and his brother can't do it either. They got to be together. They make a new congruence, and that's what tag team. You bust a tag team up that is good, and that's what Vince does. He buries them. He bears them out of sight. You can't do the Usos like that. You got to let the Usos go back to be tag teams. You know, they got to be that tag team champion because they make that tag team division better. You know, right now that tag team division is not better without Usos. I like to see the Usos and the Street Profits go against each other. That would be a good one. That would be a good match. So I think what's going to happen is with this match, this is the way to get his brother out from under Roman Reigns. And I think they just need to go away with this tribal council because, like I said, the tribal council stuff is only made for the Samoan culture, not made for any other culture. Because right now I don't believe that he's everybody's tribal council. You know, what's a tribal council in wrestling anyway? Nothing.
When you're the head of the table, you need to be a lot more intimidating than what you are. To be a true head of the table, Roman Reigns ain't it. He doesn't instill fear. Is he a hell of an athlete? Yes. Does he deserve to be where he is right now? Yes. But if you're going to tell me he's the head of the table, if he's the leader that's willing to do anything to get the job done, anything to keep that title belt, I'm sorry. I don't see ruthless aggression coming from Roman Reigns. I just don't see it.
There needs to be some other name besides tribal council. It should probably be like family council or something like that.
Well, if he's gonna be if he calls himself head of the table, we never see a table.
No.
One time.
Showed out.
One time, and that was only because
the table was behind him. He's not sitting at the head of the table.
He's not sitting at the head.
He's turned around. The table's behind him. He's looking at a camera. Why don't you put him at the head of the table, have the table in front of him, and put people beside him, and then you shoot the camera shot?
Have it make sense.
It don't make no sense.
Have it make sense.
Yeah, like
he's got one person. He's got one person to head of.
The only time I knew about him actually sitting in a table is when he was filling out the paperwork to face Daniel Bryan for Fastlane.
No.
But I mean, he's only hit of one person. That's Paul Lee, and then his one of the half of the Usos, and then he doesn't look happy being there anyway. Every time you look at him, he's pissed off.
Like, well, I got to do this. Well, I'm the only one that's got to do this.
I mean, his brothers, he goes around. His brothers telling him he looks all pissed off and mad. That's not the way I wanted to see the Usos, man. I wanted to see the Usos flying around, being the Samoan, the penitentiary.
Go back, and when they were at the highest peak of the Usos, they're one of the best tag teams in the business.
They had no manager.
With no manager. They were still one of the highest teams in the business, and now you reduce them to this. Man. Nah. Give me my Usos back.
Yeah, there's something else I wanted to address. Now, they might be talking about this more on Raw next week. What about that? Lumberjack match? Not the Miz versus Damian Priest Lumberjack match. I'm talking John Morrison versus Damian Priest Lumberjack match. I'm only saying that, but did you see what Shelton Benjamin did to his former tag team partner?
Yeah, I liked it. Because Cedric Alexander was going off, mocking him the whole entire match, talking trash.
Shouldn't have been talking trash.
And I like the way they used the veteran over the rookie type deal. Because, I mean, Shelton Benjamin, he's a good wrestler. I mean, pure wrestler. He wrestled with Brock Lesnar in Minnesota University. I mean, he's a good amateur wrestler. He's a good athlete. He's a good person. And having him losing to Cedric Alexander wouldn't make any sense in his character. Probably made him leave Raw, basically, because why are you gonna let Cedric Alexander beat a veteran? Right. I mean, he hasn't done anything.
Right.
So I mean, putting his mouth and shutting that Cedric Alexander, I liked it. But then again, Vince McMahon tore apart the Hurt business. The Hurt business was working, and Vince McMahon destroyed it. Now Bobby Lashley's got what, MVP? That's it.
He did them just like he did the Nation of Domination.
Yep.
Just destroyed them.
All right. So that's all I have to say. This has been Nate the Great, Ray Cruz, and William Morgan signing out, and we'll see you guys next week.
Peace.
Laters.